Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Content is king. So if you have some content you need created, hit up iopvideo.com. Video production, podcasting, you name it, we can do it. iopvideo.com. We make things look pretty.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Voice Party Podcast.
Woo! Voice Party!
Well, we have a very special guest today for this very special episode. It's a topic close to my heart and the hearts of about the majority of the people sitting here at this table. Good sir, please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? My name is Tony Tamayo. I'm a freelance digital communication and arts and all this other stuff that probably won't fit into the intro.
That's cool. The reason we wanted to have you on the show, I do freelancing, you do freelancing, Joaquin and Gasper, we all do freelancing. Have fun watching this time, Jake.
You know what? I used to run a business with my dad of landscaping.
So you know you're a low voltage electrician. You're a low voltage electrician.
You're a union
guy.
guy.
There you go.
So,
exactly.
Union man. But we all do freelancing, and so I thought it'd be nice for us to just like shoot the shit about freelancing, all the shit that like we wish we knew when we were starting. And all the misconceptions people kind of have about it, and what better guest to have than someone who does it for a living just like me. So you game? You down?
I'm totally down.
It's too late now.
Yeah, no, he's already here. He's already here.
There is no escape.
That's right. So, what do you normally do? What do you do for? You said a little bit of video production, but what do you normally freelance?
Graphic design is definitely my strong suit.
Okay.
A lot of promotional graphics for people throwing a promotion or a logo or social media graphics. Mm-hmm. Basically anything to make your website or your business look nicer and kind of just... And I actually did the logo for this podcast.
The Voice Party logo. Designed by Tony Tamayo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did the first one, the second one.
He only did it. It was like on the second try, because he showed me first. Here's the thing about for all you listeners that want to hire Tony, I told him exactly what I wanted, and he brought it to life. And it was the only thing. The first one didn't have that cool little logo in the microphone. And then you remember, because I was sending you all the ones he was sending me, and then he got it on the second try. Like, dude, can I see it in green now? It's like, yeah. And then I was like, all right, I don't know which one I want, and you know, we decided, and you know, let's do both.
There you go. Yeah, and we use both. Like, we use technically both. Green's like the official one, but we use red more sometimes. So.
It doesn't make sense.
Whatever.
I love it.
Red, green.
They were both made by Tony Tamayo.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of fun making that when JD, hit me up and he was like, "Can you make this?" And I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And my favorite part about making, my specialty, I would say, is more of the words instead of making like symbols and stuff like that. I really want people's logos should be like, bam, this is who we are, this is our name.
Did you do graffiti?
I don't.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
I tried, but I'm trash.
Okay.
Well, so do you design your own fonts?
I do not do that yet. I did look into a typography class. They had one in DVC, but the way my bank account is set up, I gotta wait a little bit on that.
Yeah, my bank is the same way. Yeah. It's the same way, so I feel it. I feel it.
Agreed.
So let me ask you this: when you were first starting out, like, what do you think is the biggest challenge when you decided to freelance? Is it getting clients? Is it figuring out, well, what the fuck do I charge? Like, what was your biggest hang up when you were first starting out?
I think it's the confidence. I think it's like, do people really want my services? Are they going to pay for someone like me? Or are they going to, think I'm, whack and look for someone else? That was the biggest hang up for me is getting the confidence. And then, I had this really small town mentality where I thought I was maybe one in the amongst 10,000 other graphic designers, but people are not going to meet 10,000 graphic designers in their lifetime. They probably know two or three in their immediate circle now that they can call, but they're not going to know anyone else. Once I figured that people don't like to go out of their way to look for someone to hire, well, at least for the most part, they're going to put an Instagram story up like, hey, who knows a graphic designer? And then that's when they hit me up, because I'm the first one that comes to their mind. And that,
Yeah, I think confidence is a big issue. I've been freelancing for like 10 years. I've had stuff in festivals. I've won awards, and I'm still just like, oh, they're going to figure out I'm a hack any day now. They're going to figure out I'm a fraud. It's all going to crumble. So I definitely think confidence is a big issue, especially when like you're trying to figure out your rates. Because if you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not going to have confidence to get a fair rate that you deserve. You're going to be like, oh, I can't charge that. I'm not worth that. And that's a mentality people need to get over, because
does that affect how you charge?
Yeah.
You lowball yourself?
That can happen sometimes. And the problem with that is if you don't have the experience to know how much time goes into stuff, how much labor goes into stuff, you shoot yourself in the foot. A good example, one of the, I think it was like 9 or 10 years ago, one of the first freelance gigs I got was it was like a product video. I think it was out in like Sacramento or something. And they asked me what to charge them, and I didn't ask any questions. I was just like $250. Right? Like, and immediately, like, I realized, okay, well, I had to take a day off of work to go out there and pick up the product and have a meeting with the client. Right. And I get paid $150 a day. So that's $150 out of my pocket just for taking the job. And then gas and toll getting out there and back was $50. And then I needed to hire my friend who's a voice actor and paid him $50. So before I've even started filming anything, I'm already broke. I'm already like working at a loss here. So you have to take those things into account, and sometimes it's hard to sit there and tell somebody something like, oh, $1,200, because that's a lot of fucking money.
Right. Yeah.
But people will pay for good product. People will pay for good results. There's a reason why there's 5-star restaurants and there's restaurants with a drive-through, and you kind of have to know where you're at and have the confidence in yourself to be like, this is what my skills are worth. This is what my abilities are worth. You're not just paying for my camera. You're paying for my time. You're paying for my experience. You're paying for my education. You're paying for the 10 years it took me to get to this point.
Right.
And that's the thing I think people are kind of scared to admit when they're quoting prices to customers.
Exactly. And, it's interesting because I feel like the confidence for me comes in waves, because I do a number of different things. It's like I feel confident in one thing and not the other. So when it comes down to like drone, like I just bought my drone earlier this year and I fly it around. I'm pretty smooth when it comes to turning and stuff like that. I thank Halo 3 for that. But I made a video about Richmond the other day when it looked apocalyptic as hell with the smoke.
Yeah.
And I uploaded it to Instagram, tagged the usual stuff. And some dude hit me up from SoCal, and he saw my video, and he was like, hey, I like your drone work. I have these warehouses that need to be inspected with the drone, just get some 360 shots of them. I have 2 in Richmond. I have 4 in like Stockton, 2 in Tracy. He was like, can you do that for me? And at that point, I was like, okay, so, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'll do the first warehouse, I submit the work, and he tells me it's trash, and he hires someone else. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, I could do it. And a part of that about like paying, right? I was charging him $60 an hour, and what he ended up telling me is like, oh, this stuff only takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And he was like, you know what? I'll give you $100 per warehouse. I was like, what? I lowballed myself kind of in a way. I didn't know it because I was new to this. But, there is some people out there who are just like...
Take advantage of you.
Well, the opposite in this case is he decided to give me more than what I was asking for.
But there's a danger in that they could take advantage of your naivete.
That is true.
I'll take it. Sure, definitely. $60. Here you go. But he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do one better.
Yeah, definitely. And that gave me the confidence boost I needed to, and I added that to my portfolio. Where it's like, hey, I can do these massive warehouses in the Central Valley, and I can get all the angles you need. so you can lease it to someone else and stuff like that.
There you go.
Do you ever think about asking for a quote for some other guy who would do the same to kind of gauge where you would rate? Because that's what I used to do when I did door-to-door sales. I used to shop to sell some other people. Like, what are they selling this? Okay, all right, well, I'm going to try to customize some packages to this.
Yeah.
Big time. And you know who taught me how to do that was working at Metro.
Yeah.
Working at Metro PCS in Albany for the corporate store. My my manager. She was very competitive about stuff. She was like, go walk over to Sprint, go walk over to Verizon, and see what kind of trade-in deals they got. You know, mystery shopping.
Yep.
So definitely, I took that and I definitely hit up like all the I would go to Google and I said, Richmond graphic designers or Richmond product photographers. Whatever popped up in Yelp, whatever popped up in Google, I'd find their email. Hey, I have this project, you know, and I'd be very specific about it, something that, you know, that I would like to do. And then they would get back to me like, hey, I can do this for this price, this for that price. And I got that and I gauged it and I looked at their portfolio and I was like, hey, I think I can produce similar work to this person. You know, this is the rate he's charging. Maybe I should be right around that area. But, you know, even still, the confidence thing would take its toll on me sometimes and I'd still undercharge, but at least I had an idea of what the market rate was.
Yeah, no, that's knowing the market rate is very important, because if you're charging $1,200 and he's charging $1,200 and he's charging $1,200 and I say I'll do it for $400, either one, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, or I just shot myself in the foot and now I've screwed you guys all out of a payday and now you guys have to lower your rates to compete with me. So now we're all racing to the bottom and nobody's making a living now. Yeah. So it's very important to know where the market is. That's actually one of the things I did when I was trying to figure out, well, what the fuck do I charge? Because there's so many variables you have to take into account. Like, I specialize in video, so I'm sure it's similar but different for graphics. But like with video, you got to take into account travel gear. Do I got to rent anything? Do I got to get any permits? Do I got to secure locations? Do I need props? Do I need costumes? Do I got to pay talent? There's all these factors that go into it. And so a lot of places, if you look, they won't have like a rate card where it's like, oh, music videos are this much and corporate videos are this much, because it doesn't really break down that way. Yeah. So by calling like other production houses in the area and figuring out what the market rate is for all these different things, not only can you price yourself accordingly, you now have a tool in your back pocket where when you're quoting prices to a client, you could say, well, if you went with this production house, they would charge you this much. I'm a smaller operation. I don't have the same overhead, so I can get away with doing it for this much. So now the customer knows this is how much it should cost. I'm getting a deal by going with you, and I'm getting a deal because of this reason. And if they don't believe you, they can go to that other company, and they're going to get the same price you just quoted them because you're not bullshitting them. And so it's a good way to protect the market value with customers. Because like with clients, like we all know how much a fucking cheeseburger costs because we go to fucking McDonald's all the time. Right. And we know the difference between like a restaurant cheeseburger and a drive-through cheeseburger. With everyday people, how often do you hire somebody to build a website for you? How often do you hire somebody to shoot a video for you? You don't really know how much this stuff costs. So if this guy says he'll shoot a music video for $100, you're going to think that's how much a music video is fucking worth. And not only does it screw that person over, it affects everybody else.
Yeah. I remember you were part of the Bay Area Comedy Network, right? I remember this comic, Joe Klosik, I believe. I mean, it's different, but it ties into this. This comic, he's a full-time stand-up comic, and he posted this message to urge all of us, whether you're an open micer or you're just starting off, like, don't get into the habit of doing free shows, because that gives like promoters who are really scummy leverage to say, oh, you're charging me this much, like I could just get these guys to do it for free. And that affects all of us in the future. And
well, that's cute, but we don't all have the skill to charge.
No, I know that, but you know, to not get comfortable at that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If anything, get to where you can master your skill, but don't think that, you know, don't get comfortable with doing it for free. Yeah. And you know, and treat it as a business. Yeah. Because some people like him are doing this for a living. That's, you know, you really like, if you don't think of it as hurting, you know, yourself because you're getting something out of it, but you're hurting the other guys. Yeah. I mean, but if you're selfish, then it doesn't really matter.
like unless it's something for like myself or one of my friends,
exactly.
I don't work for free anymore. I feel like there's kind of two reasons why you would work for free. One is working for experience, and one is working for exposure.
Yeah, to build something.
The difference between those, I think, is working for experience is when you're just starting out, you don't have a portfolio, you don't have a reel, and you just need something to go out there and get work and get clients. And I feel like working for exposure is snake oil that scummy clients will try to sell you so they can take advantage of you. Because I feel like any client who's like, well, this will be great exposure for you. It's like, one, my landlord doesn't take fucking exposure for my rent. So secondly, like, what is that even going to get me? Like, if you're a big enough deal where me working for you is really going to boost my career, then you're a big enough deal where you can afford to pay me.
Exactly.
Because realistically, here's what's going to happen. Like, you're going to crop out my watermark on your photos. You're not going to tag me on your Instagram post or your YouTube video. Or if you do, it's going to be the bottom of that description that nobody reads. So what really do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's
experience.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, they're trying to, it's almost like they're trying to push you the same way that artists on tour get pushed. What I mean by that is, let's say you have a major artist like, I don't know, Taylor Swift goes on tour, or Kanye West goes on tour. But there's a big brand name. Then you got a smaller artist who's kind of on the come up, got a little single going on. That smaller artist, in order to get on tour with the bigger name, actually has to pay the bigger name. It could cost something like $75,000 to get on tour with Taylor Swift and do your show, and it's like, but the argument is, well, you're paying me for exposure, because no one, that many people aren't going to go to see you otherwise. You know what I mean? I mean, you're also paying for, like, I guess, transportation and all that too, but you get to sell your own merchandise. But like, that's the time when exposure works. Like, because they see you doing your thing. But as you pointed out, Phil, it's different when it's your cinematography work. Like, I remember growing up as a kid, watching music videos when music videos cost millions of dollars, right? And like, I would only know who directed the music video if they advertised the director at the beginning. Like, what's the name? Hype Williams. It's a Hype Williams joint because his name's flashing at the beginning.
And he had a specific style too that was like game changer.
But, these little YouTube things, it's like, no, not really. You know what I mean? Very few people, I read the descriptions and stuff because I'm just curious. But most people don't. Most people aren't that curious.
Yeah, and once people start getting something for free, it's very hard to get them to pay for it. That's something the music industry has found out over the last 20 years. So I feel like even if you're just starting out and you need that experience, there are ways to go about it without necessarily working for free. Like, this is the fucking Bay Area. Everybody knows somebody who's a rapper. Just go shoot a music video for your friend and get experience that way. That's true. Or, go find a mom and pop shop and do that same thing where you're like, hey, I can shoot a commercial for you guys. Normally it would cost this much. I need some experience, so I can do it for this much. Try and hustle a little, because if you start working for free, it's going to condition your brain to think, well, this is all I'm worth. I'm not worth charging. I'm just starting out. I don't deserve to make any money off of this. So the earlier you can start making money for what you're doing, the better that's going to help your mindset. As far as you going, like, as far as working for free, what are your thoughts on like working for free and experience and exposure and all the other nonsense?
Yeah, so definitely stop doing the whole exposure thing, because I definitely did my fair share of it, thinking that this is it, this is the one. He's gonna get me like 3 referrals, and it never panned out that way. So I was just like, you know what, this is pointless. And if he thinks if he doesn't like me after I say no, then that's on him. Yeah. I have worked for free to break into certain markets, though, for sure. Yeah. And and usually these clients I'm gonna try to make it be my friend or someone I know, and I'll be like, hey, definitely gonna do this for free so I can break into this market, but please don't tell anyone I did this for free. If they have to ask for a price, tell them to contact me directly, because everything is different. Yeah. But as far as like for the website stuff goes, I feel like, and if there's any people who make websites out there, it can be so inexpensive to start and make a website, obviously it's just your hours, but it can be up to $8, right? Just to make a website on that's coming out of your pocket. Well, $20, $12.
Like a very basic one?
Exactly. So it's $12 for the website, the domain name. $8 for the hosting fee. It can be up to $3 for the hosting fee if you're doing like a HostGator or something. But what you can do, and what I did, is I made up fake businesses. So like I wanted to break into the whole mom and pop taco shops, that would be on 23rd Street, but I was living in Fresno at the time, so it would be on Belmont or whatever. And what I did is I ended up making like my own Mexican restaurant website.
Oh wow.
Like, yo, this is my menu, these are my hours.
Tamayo tortas.
Yeah. Bro, it was every Juan loves tacos.
Every Juan.
Oh, dude. I made business cards. I swear to God, I made this whole business out of thin air just so that I can get the experience and I can be like, look, I made this business card for this business. I made this website for this business. I made their menu. And, I mean, obviously, they could find out if it's fake or not, but I did the work, so it's there. If they like the style, it's there. If not, it's not. For different work, for different people, it's going to be different things. But as far as working for free goes, I'll try to find my own way to make a project out of it, and I'll put the money up front. And I feel like that way you can manipulate it whenever you want, or it's part of your portfolio now.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Listening to you and thinking about exposure, the only time that you should be doing any free work is to build your portfolio. And it could be one of those things where you're killing two birds with one stone. Like my first commercial was for Coca-Cola that I ever shot, and I did it for free, but it's also the first commercial I ever shot. Yeah.
Right.
But then again, Coca-Cola probably wouldn't come to you unless you already had the chops, so they should be paying. But I did a short film.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you on that. And nowadays, like I'm trying to break into basically consulting now. Where it's because there's a lot of small businesses who can hire a graphic designer, but I feel like in the long run, most of these people, especially with I'd say what some of the new challenges, especially in the Bay Area, with like gentrification or whatever, like your mom and pop shops, they're good how they are, but someone's gonna come in and make a coffee shop who knows how to use Canvas, or who knows how to use some sort of free editing software to make something halfway decent and go from there and make it look nice. So basically what I focus on is I have different type of packages almost. Like I can make you a basic website, but what I try to emphasize is that I want to be hands free from it. Like I want to make it for you, and then I kind of want to show you how to maintain it, and then I want to step away. One, this helps me like not have my card on file for that monthly hosting fee, and then have to chase them with a PayPal invoice or something, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna make this profile for you, the website's in here, I'm gonna show you how to use it, and then I'm gone.
I'm selling you the bonsai tree, you better keep it nice and trimmed.
Yeah, basically. And then if they want the basic, all right, there's the basic. I can offer you a media package down the road if you can afford it. I'll come with my drone, I'll come with my camera. I was like, all right, now you want your website to look nicer, I'll offer you the graphics package for this extra amount of money, but if you can't, I'm not going to promise these things up front. So what do you want? What package do you want? And a lot of people could afford the basic package, and then later on when they get more money, they'll hire you to build on that.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like packaging things out is the way to go, because if you're looking for jobs online, a lot of times there's all these arbitrary pricing methods that don't make any sense, where it's like, oh, we'll pay, $50 for every minute of completed video, and it's like, well, a 30-second video could take 20 hours to edit versus a 20-minute video which could take an hour to edit. Right. So that's kind of arbitrary and doesn't really the finished product doesn't necessarily relate to the work. And then like I try when I'm quoting prices to clients, I think about like how long stuff is going to take, but I don't break it down like hourly on the quote I send them, because I found that like when I do break it down hourly for clients, two things happen. When I'm working, they'll either try to rush me to get it done quicker so they can keep the bill low, or when I'm trying to take my time to do something right, they'll think I'm just dilly-dallying to run up the clock. And so I found it's just better to be like, here's a package. Here's how much it's going to cost to shoot your video. Here's how much it's going to cost to do your thing. And I don't even put time in there, so that way I can just work at my own pace. I know how to get it done, and I don't have you breathing down my neck because you don't know how much work goes into it. And that kind of going back to the confidence thing we were talking about, one thing that kind of took a while for me to come to grips with is just like, yes, everybody has a camera in their pocket now that shoots 4K video, and their movies are shot on iPhones and are going into film festivals and stuff. But if they could do it, they wouldn't be hiring me.
Yeah.
They're hiring me not because of the gear I have.
It's not the gear.
It's because of the skills and the experience, and me doing this for 10 years. I'm fast. I make good decisions now because I've learned how to fix things in post. And it's that experience that they're paying you for. And going back to the confidence, once you understand that, I think it gets easier to then work with clients and communicate with them, because we're experts, they aren't. We know how much work goes into something, they don't. So a lot of times when clients will be like, oh, we're paying, $75 an hour, like I'll counter and be like, well, I'll do it for $1,200 because of this reason, this reason, this reason, and this reason. And when I break it down like that, they tend to be like, okay, that makes sense. All right. Because they start to realize, like, yeah, that is kind of arbitrary, because it could take you 3 hours to shoot it, but it could take you 10 hours to edit it, and the video is only going to be 3 minutes. So educating clients, I think, is a big part of freelancing, because if they knew what they were talking about, they wouldn't be coming to us. And that took me so long to come to grips with. I just assumed everybody hiring me knew as much as I did, which is so counterintuitive. I don't know how I ever got stuck thinking that.
I one time I charged someone. Well, this is a big mistake, but they offered me $1,600 to do a barbecue for a group of like 160, and it didn't seem that bad. Like, okay, yeah, that's not that bad, 160 people. But once I did the math, like, I really didn't make shit.
Yeah.
And that's, man, like, I mean, this different, of course, because this is food, but
Still freelancing.
it's still freelancing. But I let them decide the price.
Yeah.
And then I use my equipment, my everything, and I did all my homework afterwards on what someone else would have charged. I
You bought the food out, right? You the food came from you.
Yeah. Me. Yeah.
Yeah, because like 160 people, that's how many? It was a barbecue. How many chickens? How many sausage? How many?
A lot.
Like what kind of food? What kind of food did they order? Ribs.
Tri-tip.
Did you do any salmon?
No.
Okay.
Ribs and tri-tip. But it's just, I didn't know. And there's the thing, like, you learn afterwards. I talked to someone afterwards who was more experienced, and like, yeah, you never let them choose a price.
I was doing photography with a friend, and he charged $600 for a wedding, and then a friend of mine was like, hey, I'm looking for a photographer for a wedding. So I was like, okay, $600, right? And he didn't hire me. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm not worth $600. So then he came back to me about a year later. He's like, hey, my brother's getting married. I want you to be the photographer. And so I said, $400. And he ended up hiring me, and he even told me, he's like, I'm hiring you because I like your price. And I was like, oh shit. And then, once I broke it down,
you show up to the wedding with your iPhone.
Yeah, right. When I divided
iPhone 3, bitch.
When I divided the price by the
Sorry.
iPhone, no, it's fine. When I divided the price by the amount of hours I spent, especially editing, because that'll take a long time, I think I was making $5 an hour. And it's not worth my time,
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. When we're doing video production, we got to think, well, where are we going to film it? Are we going to have to pay for a location? Are we going to have to rent an Airbnb for an afternoon?
I had to go to Stockton for this barbecue.
Yeah. Am I going to need to get permits?
Yeah.
Gas and toll and bridge and parking? you also got to think, am I going to need to rent any equipment? I'm going to need hard drives. I'm going to need batteries. I'm going to pay my crew that comes out to help me shoot this. You know, there's all these things you have to think about before you even start doing any work. Like, which is why I always charge a 50% deposit up front, and I always let the client know, look, it's not refundable. You ain't getting that back.
That's another thing. It's like, because what if you show up and I think I'm just afraid of asking for that
confidence.
Yeah, for the money up front.
Yeah. Well, see here, one thing I found, and you'll probably agree with me here, I found that the people who have a hard time putting down a deposit are also the same people who have a hard time paying you once the work is done.
Yeah.
So, and I'm such a jackass that I'll flat out tell clients that when they start being like, I don't really want to put down a deposit, I'll be like, well, usually people don't want to put down a deposit, or else people don't want to pay me.
How do they react?
Then you're like, what? Well, I'll pay you in full right now. The fuck you mean I ain't gonna pay you? I'll pay you in full right now. So
I bet you won't double it.
Yeah. So, and I always let clients know, like, you put 50% down up front, and that's not refundable. The reason it's not refundable, before I show up to film, there's money already spent. I may have to buy permits. I may have to secure locations. I may have to rent gear. I may have to pay crew. I may have to props, costumes, whatever. I'm probably spending money before I even show up to film. Not only that, I'm keeping that day open for you. If you cancel, I can't rebook that time. Yeah. So you're paying me to keep that day open for you, and you're paying for the expenses before I even show up to start filming. So you don't get that back.
Yeah. You got to do that electrician pricing, bro. You show up, if I'm changing a light bulb just for driving here, $150.
Yeah, there you go.
Or that union shit. I don't know when I'll be done, but charge me this an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, time.
But you know,
I had seen one person where they were like, all right, figure out how much it's worth for you to just drive somewhere, unload your stuff, pack it up, and leave, and just don't do anything. Yeah. That's your base rate, and then add your hourly rate on top of that.
And I'm charging you triple for this light bulb.
You know, like we had a client. I never forget that sometimes clients really don't understand what it is that they want or what the limitations are. And
I hate those clients. I've had so many clients where they don't know what they like until they see what they don't like. And you're just spending so many times doing revisions and reshoots. And
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm sorry about how many times I've asked you to change a logo.
Oh, no, you're good.
It was good exposure, though.
As you can see, all the listeners and viewers of The Voice Party.
The beauty about especially this last one is that everything was made from scratch. So
okay, yeah.
If someone's skin tone was,
he did the cartoons all by fucking pictures.
Oh yeah, he did that logo right there.
Holy shit, all from. I had never,
those pictures you sent me on text.
I sent them off you text. Does it irritate you to have, for both of you guys, or all you guys, since I'm the one that's not a freelancer here. That's why I've been mentioning different things to get into his fucking
Mr.
brain.
tells jokes for free.
Exactly.
Yeah, continue.
No, but is it annoying? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's inevitable, but is it annoying to have clients who aren't artistic or don't have artistic,
I mean,
they shouldn't.
It can be, but kind of going back to what I said, if they were, they wouldn't be hiring me. They're hiring me because they don't know.
Right, but I'm saying because even though they don't know how to do it, they still have an artistic.
Yeah,
eye.
Good
vision.
Story time dealing with a client here. I was doing a product video. You helped me out with this for this tablet. This company was doing a Kickstarter for this new e-ink digital tablet. Ended up doing great numbers on Kickstarter, and the video got tons of views and was the whole reason they did so well on the Kickstarter. So pat myself on the back for that. But when I was having the meeting with them, I'm trying to figure out what they want, because at the end of the day, I don't fucking care. I'm trying to give you what you want. I don't give a damn how it turns out as long as you're happy with it. Right. And I'm trying to figure out what they want, and they're giving me nothing. They're just whatever you think looks good. Maybe people like a coffee shop. Whatever you think looks good.
Give him hell, Phil.
That's all they're fucking giving me. And so I go out and I shoot some stuff at a coffee shop and send it off to them for review. And they're like, that's not what we were thinking at all. And I'm like, well, what were you thinking? Well, we were thinking, Asian businesswoman, mid to late 30s, dress business casual, African-American male, early 20s, dress business formal, maybe at a mom and pop coffee shop with tungsten lighting and wood paneling. And I'm just like, holy shit, that's specific. Where the fuck was this when I was asking you what you wanted?
Would it kill? Would it? I guess. Well, like for that one, do you ever sit down and like talk to them, like suggestions of what you would do before you even?
Yeah, one thing I've learned is communication is the most important part when you're working with a client.
Yes.
So what I'll do is like when I send over the estimate and the contract that I have them sign, I break it down. I'm like, look, you get this many revisions. Mm-hmm. This is what a revision constitutes. Mm-hmm. If I have to reshoot anything, depending on what it is, it's going to be this price. When we're using talent, I'll send off headshots and be like, hey, this is who I'm thinking of using. When we're shooting locations, I'll send them pictures of the location. Be like, this is where I'm thinking of filming. So that way they have approval ahead of time, and if they want to change anything later, I can be like, well, I showed you who I was going to cast. You told me it was cool.
Guys, I think I'm having a little realization right now. This might be why I became a consultant and a freelance like communication specialist instead of just a graphic designer or a web designer. Because if you're a graphic or web designer, it's like, okay, this is what you do. That's all you do. But if I'm a communication specialist or a consultant, then it's like, hey, what do you want? And I'll find a way to get this to you. Mm-hmm. They tell me what they want, and then I can just turn around and make that website for them and sell it right back to them. Versus if I'm the web designer, it's just this different type of back and forth versus me being the consultant. Then I'm the one giving them advice on what would probably look better.
Yeah, I've found a lot of times our job as a freelancer is to not necessarily follow the customer's word to a T, but interpret what they're saying. Customer says they want one thing, doesn't necessarily mean they want that exact thing. It means figure out what's going to work for them based in the framework and try and give them options. Like we've done this before when we're quoting like music videos and stuff to clients. I'll usually do like 2 different packages and I'll be like, well, we could do this one for $1,700. Or if we cut this out, this out, this out, and this out, we can do this one for $1,000, and kind of give them different options so they can kind of pick and choose, and then it kind of gives you room to negotiate. But you got to communicate. You got to interpret what they're saying and be like, well, we can do this, we can do that. Here's something I did that's similar to that. We could do something like this, maybe change this, because they're always not the best at communicating. Yeah. And sometimes what they say isn't really what they mean.
Sometimes it's not even about communication. Sometimes like when I said earlier about clients not really understanding, sometimes clients know what they want, but they don't understand what they need to get what they want. And like sometimes you have to come up with a really good alternative to squeak by. We had a client who had this grand music video vision. Well, not really a music video, it was a promo video vision. And like they were like, oh, we're gonna drive down this big classic street and I'm going to ghost ride the whip and we're gonna have the camera mounted onto the car, and it sounded great. And the IOP video definitely had the camera mount for what the person wanted. We were ready. We showed up on time. We had all the money, the charges, all that sort of stuff. They paid up front and everything. And then like turn around and the first question we asked when we get there is like, so you got the permits to shoot down the street, right? Where's the police escort? And then the client's like, wait, we needed permits? And it was like, yes, you needed
especially if we're doing something illegal like ghost riding a car down a main street in downtown Oakland. If a cop shows up, they shut us down, they can seize my equipment. I'm out of business. This job isn't worth my business, so we got to make sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted.
So I come up with a suggestion. I go, well, knowing full well that like the client's big event was just in like days away, and there wasn't going to be no time to get these permits. I just simply said, is there a side street near the venue where you're gonna have this promo shot and shown, because they're gonna they weren't gonna shoot it there, but they were gonna show the promo at the venue, and we were also gonna shoot the event itself. So it was really a double job. And I was like, maybe there's a side street that's not really gonna have a whole lot of traffic, and we can get some kind of similar shot, and just take us near the area, and we'll see. And then the client went, yeah, sure. Not knowing that I had no intention and no plan to actually shoot it the way that like the client was thinking, because I knew, like I said, that we were not going to be able to secure those permits within such a short time. So my plan was, let me look at the venue and see if it's interesting enough and maybe we could shoot some creative stuff at the venue itself. Sure enough, the venue was popping, and like right then and there, Phil and I came up with I don't know if I came up with the pitch or Phil came up with the pitch, but one of us was like, yo, this we could use this, and this is what we could do with it, and the client was like super sold. Changed their mind right on the dime because we had a better idea. Especially once the client realized the traffic was an issue and that it was dangerous, and they're like, oh, okay. That saved the shoot. That saved our 2-day gig. Sometimes you got to think on the fly and come up with some sort of alternative, even after like there is a plan set. Sometimes there is no plan, but you have to improvise.
I when I was working door-to-door sales, we did like a lot of hours of sales training because we were selling a product that was more expensive than any other product. Comcast, most expensive. Okay. Selling that shit door to door, it was like fucking. Oh man, it was like trying to convince someone that I don't know. It's trying to convince. Like someone that was in an abusive relationship that their partner changed and he's not gonna hit you anymore, I promise. He's changed. He doesn't he drinks, but not
not that much.
Just give him another shot. Come on. And that's exactly what it felt like doing that. One thing that like the trainer pointed out though is like if someone gives you the time, whatever client, like if they give you the time, they really don't like. There's a good thing they said. I remember this was a quote by Henry Ford. Like if you were to ask people what they want, they would probably just say faster horses. So it's sometimes if you write it out to them like in a way that kind of because they're coming to you, they want something. It's just in how you present it. And I mean, a lot of that shit helped because I really did sell some of these Comcast accounts, which is hard to do, especially in the Bay Area with everything being so expensive. But if you have like I mean, I'll be honest, like I mean, this is not a promo for Comcast, but they have a good product. And there's a reason why, people go back to them. Yeah. It's like, like the toxic dude with the good dick, It's
a good product.
It's a good product. It's customer service is shitty. The abuse is, but good dick.
He beats me, but the sex is amazing. Yeah.
Toxic
you could
sex.
refer them to that South Park episode, man.
Was that?
The cable South Park episode.
Oh, I've never seen that.
They're like, oh, you have an issue with your cable? Yeah. I'm sorry. We'll get a driver between 8 in the morning to 7 p.m. Is that okay? But you have to stay at home, okay? Or else he's gonna leave.
That's like the shitty father that promises his kid he's gonna pick him up for in the movies, and he never shows up. Yeah. He waited all day for you, Kevin.
I hear you on that outside sales though, bro, because for 2 years I was political canvassing. All over California.
That's a rough
I got
one.
the mayor of San Diego. I was part of the team that got the mayor of San Diego elected.
Wow.
So council members in fucking Fresno and Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
Contra Costa.
Yeah.
We had to hit 150
hard,
houses a day.
How many door slams? 149.
Well, I was a younger kid for sure. Eager for money. I was living in Fresno, so I was like, hell yeah, I'll get out of Fresno,
Mm-hmm.
So I was working, who had the money for these kind of people were the Republicans. So I was out here, like just, in Walnut, in these certain areas of Walnut Creek, because they give you the stack of papers of like 150 you have to hit a day. They already have the addresses on them, who lives in the house, what their phone numbers are, how old they are, who they voted for in the past. So it's your job to just go over there, remind them to vote. If they're like on the edge, then you go into like sales mode and you convince them like, hey, this candidate did this, or while you're walking to the house, inspect the car, check to see if there's any like army stickers or anything like that. Like, yo, this candidate thinks this way about the army. See you have that sticker back there. Yeah. This guy's got your back. Yeah. And a lot of that, even customer sales at Walmart, and this kind of ties into a bigger kind of point I wanted to make, is that people don't think they have the experience, but they work that retail or they worked whatever, you name it, sales, and they're just like, well, you know, I got to go to school to do this. But a lot of our jobs now as freelancers is customer service. If you can handle someone at fucking Walmart yelling at you and shit, you can handle a rejection from a client, or you can handle something else. If you're working sales at T-Mobile, there's no reason why that $30 cell phones you sell a month there can't translate to 30 sales a month doing something else. You know,
that's true.
So, you know, and that's one of the things that helped me, especially that door-to-door sales. Got rid of my fear of rejection.
Yeah, there you go. And I got rid of that a long time ago with women, but yeah.
So in 2020, do you still need a website?
Yes, definitely.
Instagram ain't enough.
Hey, and that I mean, everyone's using Linktree now.
Yeah,
Linktree is awesome, but it doesn't. I mean, the way I see it, there's two different ways people are selling what they want to sell or getting the point across that they want to get across. One is that they're either just focused on selling their product or they're focused on selling themselves. You know, I'm always going to link my website because I'm always going to try to sell myself. I want to sell, and
no, I mean, we're freelancers. We're prostitutes here.
Yeah, I'm always
one way or another.
I'm always gonna want to sell my
Tony. I knew it.
Oh,
you don't get that gorgeous hair for nothing. I knew it.
I'm going to
That's the moneymaker.
23rd after this.
Oh shit!
No, I got these
the
easy off pants.
Go ahead, those tamaneras.
Yeah.
But you know,
spread my masa.
Oh no.
You only need a website, bro. Like I feel like we need websites now more than ever, bro.
Yeah.
Depends, you know, you want to offer your menu, your digital menu on what you want to do. You don't want a link tree with like, oh, if you want to see my videos, go to YouTube.
You want to see my OnlyFans?
You want to see go to there.
Yeah.
You want to see, you want to see my rants, go to Twitter. No, it should all, if you're really doing something, if you really want to do something, have it all on website.
Right. When it comes to social media, I think the closest social media platform that allowed you to have a customizable website, or at least could have even moved further in that direction, was and people are gonna, I'm marking my age when I say this, but MySpace. Because you could like design your page.
Put a dope song.
You could put music on that page. I'm pretty sure had they kept developing it could have been like everyone's own personal web. Facebook, I never understood why Facebook took over in the way that it did. Because when I first heard about Facebook, I was like, wait, I'm a musical artist. You mean to tell me I can't load my music on my personal Facebook page? And then, like, I can't personalize my Facebook page? This is lame. And then MySpace went under, and I'm like, why? Clearly, MySpace was actually better. And it wasn't overseen by some dark dystopian lord that is...
personality, like, visible there. Like, no, we got to kill that shit.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, top 8, bro.
Top 8.
that ended so many friendships.
This is the next civil war off of that, bro.
I think going back to what you were saying about the importance of having a website, it also comes down to perception. Because if you look like a big deal and you sound like a big deal and you act like a big deal, people probably going to think you a big deal. That's how Frosted Mini Fears blew up. We just faked it till we made it. And anybody can have social media. Social media is free. Anybody can have an Instagram. Anybody can have a LinkedIn. Anybody can have a Facebook. Websites cost money.
Yeah. So
just by you taking that step to invest in yourself, you're projecting that confidence to the client, where it's like, look, I'm willing to spend money on me. Clearly, you should be too. Because if you're not going to spend money on yourself, how is anybody else going to?
Right. Like, and that also like I'll say this, because before I met Phil, no other person thought to I remember the stuff okay, so after I met Phil, he's the first person that second person, but I never really listened to the other person, but he's the first person that kind of told me about the importance of having a clips of me doing stand-up. And later on, a lot of the gigs that I that I was asking to get on, they'd say, hey, do you have a clip? And I don't know how I got so far into this without ever really sending a clip. And like, no, I'm funny. Right? Yeah, I'm funny. And And now
You
that
just
I
like set up a webcam and just improv some stuff and send it
like,
to him.
I'm gonna write you. Yeah, email them my jokes. Like, but then I when I did that, and then I started sending clips to, like, unfortunately they didn't happen, like 3 of these shows. But I sent them all the clips, and I realized how fast the response was. Like, oh shit, he sent me a clip the day after he messaged me about it, and but COVID fucked that up, so that was nothing you could do there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it got me thinking about. Remember when we did the shows at Beck's? Mm-hmm. Like, our approach was great. Like, we were 25. You were like 25. I was 21, 22. Mm-hmm. We basically went. And we wanted to put together our own show. It was like 2011, 2012. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we went to this bar, and we asked them, what's your slowest night of the week? It was like Tuesdays. Okay, can we do a show? Like,
we didn't.
That's smart.
They gave us this, right?
No, we did.
Oh, we did?
We went in.
Because you were smart.
We went and then, yes, but we didn't make money off of it. And then it got so big that we were doing every Saturday because it was so. We brought in a lot of younger people.
That's what makes you brought in business.
But we didn't make money off of it.
Oh,
we didn't get any cuts.
Wait, so you mean even when it got bigger, they still weren't paying you?
No.
Oh,
and then I remember the guy was like, he was like, oh, I can give you more drink tickets, and our friend was like, we don't need drink tickets.
I took them. Fuck it. You know what?
Right. I'm an alcoholic. Calories are calories. Doesn't matter where they come from. Right. You need to eat.
I think he was trying to.
Got food too. I
think he was trying to bargain for something. I forgot.
We were bargaining, but eventually they fucking the company. They went under.
We'll joke for food.
Fuck them.
We'll joke for food.
We were working really hard at getting that. We went from Tuesdays to Thursdays, and then finally Saturdays, and we had a lot. I don't know why I'm holding this like it's a second head. And my friend here said
we were just watching Muppet Christmas Carol. I know. Now you're doing the Jim Henson thing.
Didn't I say that once? Like
No, but these shows are amazing.
They were amazing.
You went to one.
I did.
The day you went, it sucked. But
we had comics.
Were great.
Comics that were on TV, dude, coming to do the shit for free for us, but we didn't get anything out of it. And then eventually they went under. Yeah. But it was just I was just talking about that with Johan. Like it did a lot of dope shit for free. But like going back to what you're saying, I learned from it. Now that I do my shows, of course, I charge at the door and I pay the comics because that's the way it should be. We should be used. Even though we're doing artistic things that don't get any respect, especially the artistic stuff. Oh, that's just whatever. It does deserve more respect as a real.
Yeah, because whether you're building a house or a website, both people got to pay rent.
Exactly, and if you're using that shit to make money, you fucking better pay up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's my kind of going back to my philosophy, which because I taught you this right from the jump, is I've always been the type of person where if I'm eating, you're eating. If I'm getting paid, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
I've never been the type of person to be like, hey, thanks for helping me out on that gig. I got a great payday out of that. I knew a guy who tried to do that with me once. I met him on the Amati shoot we did.
Yes, the Power Rangers ripoff thing.
Yeah, but this guy hit me up because he was doing a commercial for Toyota Marin, and he wanted to know if I was down to help him out with the shoot. And I'm like, hell yeah! What's the date and what's the rate? And he's like, oh, it wouldn't be a paid gig. And I'm like, oh, well,
just come play.
Because I'm just like, well, one, it's Toyota. Two, it's Toyota of Marin. So I know you're getting a payday out of it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So if I'm going to drive all the way to Marin to hold a fucking boom mic or a reflector off camera, I better be getting fucking paid for that.
I'm keying the shit out of one of these cars.
Yeah. So you always want to take care of your crew.
Yeah.
Pay your talent, pay your crew. Because it shows that you value them, shows that you're wanting to take care of them. Even if you're not paying them like the market rate, at least if you're showing that, hey, I'm going to pay you, they're more willing to come back and trust you and work for you again because they know this guy fucking stiffed me out of a payday. But JD, he always took care of me. He always made sure I was fed.
If you can at least, if you're doing, here's one thing I try as much as possible. I mean, with you guys, because you guys, come here and do this. If you can't pay them, at least, okay, this is like pro tip for like you guys that you can't pay. If you can't pay, if they're working, at least feed them and repost or share to like 30 people what they do. Yep. And like show them, look, You know,
we would do that. Remember when we were doing black suits?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like that's something that your colleagues at the public access TV channel had actually said during a seminar we went to. They were like, make sure even if you can't pay your crew, you feed your crew. It is the most basic thing that you can do. Yep. And we've always, that's something that like even back when I was rapping with my camp. I mean, I was like, oh, we were all in it together. But I always was like, yo, I'm gonna feed y'all. Come on, let's go somewhere.
Like when we would do, anytime we would do a shoot, like when we're working on black suits, every day at the end of filming, we go out to dinner. I'd pick up the check. Hey, thanks for donating your time. Your time is valuable. I'm going to feed you to say thank you.
Yeah, and I picked up the check like once or twice. We went to like Mountain Mike's once and then really threw down. And that was when we filmed the last episode.
Yeah.
So we took turns.
You guys remember when we started this? I like have all these fucking snacks, and then it went down to like just water bottles. Yes,
we show up. It's like, well, there's a sink in the bathroom. I can get you a cup.
I got tea bags. Yeah, here, hold out your hands.
I definitely feel you on that. Taking care of people along the way. I was helping out 2 candidates this last election season. My first time doing candidates, helping candidates on a different level versus just going door to door for them. There's this candidate, her name was Guadalupe Enyana. She's running for District 2. I helped her make her logo and her slogan, actually, which was Juntos Adelante and Forward Together. And nice. I came up with that on the fly. And it was because like they were like, make this logo. I was with this like campaign manager, right? He hit me up, and then I would get connected with the candidates eventually somehow, because just the communication was better that way. And they didn't really give me much, just look at their platform or whatever they had at the time. And I made the website for her and for her, Dr. Charlene Harlan in San Paulo City Council. And so for her, she was like, I was charging them to make these, when people endorse you, endorsement announcements. But a lot of people endorse people in their candidacy, so I wasn't going to charge an outrageous amount. I was like, you know what, give me $15 for every 3 people that I endorse. I made a template. All I had to do was swap the photos. One of these days, I was looking for a photo. She kind of just left it out. I mean, she was like, you know what, the people that are endorsing me, they're public figures on the website. They should have their photos, or, you can find their photos anywhere. So, I found one of my buddies' photos who took, more of a professional acquaintance that I still meet up with. He's a photographer in Richmond. And I was like, he had a photo of a current council member, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And at the bottom, it had his watermark, but it wasn't on his portfolio, but I knew who he was. So I was like, yo, I found your photo. I really want to use it for this client. I'll give you $10. Mind you, I was only getting like $15 for the whole project, but she was already paying me for enough for other things to where I was just like, $10 for a photo that it's just gonna go up real quick, and then the election's done. But he ended up saying no. Which $10 for a lot of people, $10. But if I see something that I know is from someone else, definitely, because a lot of people show up and they either take time off of work or take time out of their own days to take these photos. They should definitely be appreciated and compensated.
Yeah. Time is money. And a quote that's always stuck with me is, the toes you step on your way up are connected to the asses you're going to have to kiss on the way down.
You just mentioned about, where was this candidate from, the one you helped come up with those quotes for?
Guadalupe Enyana. You may have seen her billboard on 23rd Street.
Oh, here in Richmond.
Yeah.
Okay, you bring up a good point, man, because like, I don't know if you're familiar with artist. He's a street artist, goes by Obey.
Yeah.
He had his clothing brand, but he created that Obama Hope logo, and that was a big part of why
I remember
Obama
that. Yeah.
got elected, and that's something he did like on his own just to fuck around because he
Didn't he start off with like the Andre the Giant?
one, which he blew up everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a marketing genius, dude. Like, I mean, yeah, it's illegal shit that he
He's
did.
a street artist, but hey, it was still dope.
A street artist created a fucking the Hope Obama picture. He created that, and I guess Obama's whatever his team liked it and they used it. And I'm not gonna say that helped elect him, but that was a huge political statement.
When you're running for office, every
I just
little
want
bit
to say,
helps.
like, that's a fucking freelance artist did that, and that had a huge impact. In
Hopefully it was compensated.
I was,
I don't know, maybe not.
The two candidates I helped, unfortunately, didn't get elected this time around.
Tony,
But
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Right? And I was like, man, I was ready to run that victory lap around my room. They
I'm
did
saying it like it's your fault.
I felt that way, bro. I felt that way.
What parties were they aligned with?
They were like, they're Democrats for sure, but they were just
That's
like
the problem right there.
Not.
I meant to think that. I meant to just think that.
Jesus.
The what I got out of it though is that she had a billboard, bro. I saw my work on a billboard, and I was just like, that was like the happiest moment of my time at the moment, you know.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was in a Rasputin and I saw a CD that I did the artwork for, and I'm like, there's my logo on the back. Oh shit! Take a picture. So I get it. One last thing I want to talk about, Gasper. We had talked about this before about like negotiating prices with clients and dealing with clients who want to haggle. Do you still have that issue with clients haggling?
I haven't had very many gigs since we talked. But yeah,
haggling the gig itself.
The thing is that like
it happens, I'm sure.
So I'm terrible at Googling, and it's not even part of like my nature to just Google.
How are you terrible at Google? Really? That's a thing?
It just doesn't like what you said.
Oh, like you know what to find.
Like you said, find other people who are doing the same job. Find out what they're charging. It never occurred that to me. What a stupid thing to never think about, you know?
That's true. I've been the same way, but other things. Yeah.
And so, like, I've gotten these jobs. Like, for example, a friend asked me to do. They had a band. They were like, we want to record 7 songs. Can you do the video for them?
All 7?
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell? I don't even know how long that's gonna take me, you know? And then after that, somebody asked me to do the background. They wanted to do like YouTube videos, like kids YouTube videos with songs and stuff. They wanted me to do the backgrounds. I was like, I don't even know how to do that, you know, but I can't charge them while I learn it. And so, yeah, things like that, I have no idea.
Pay for my classes.
Right, yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, if you don't know something, like legit don't know it, and you're not with another teammate that does, and you can't work on it together, then I would say don't bother providing the service, you know?
This is something Mario mentioned when he was in our podcast, which is a great idea, because he mentioned he gets these corporate gigs, and I got it last year. You weren't available, but I got like he mentioned this. He got offered a corporate gig in New Year's Eve, and he wasn't like, I don't know if I can, you know, I'm ready for this all by myself. So he brought in another comic and just split the, you know, split. So it's like, I would say, I don't know, maybe you know, you could collaborate with someone that knows.
Yeah.
And in a way you still win.
I probably shouldn't say this, but fuck it, whatever. There have been times where a client has been like, hey, can you do this? And I'll just be like, Sure, I can. And then immediately hop on YouTube and look at tutorials and teach myself how to do
something. That's how I've been getting through in the union, bro. I haven't realized I don't know how to do this shit. Like, yeah, I can do. And then I just like, man, I watch whatever, because I don't think they realize I don't know what I'm doing yet, because they put me on all these tasks. And it was like that last year when I started. And I Googled a lot, I YouTubed a lot of shit, and then, you know, I guess I got into, especially doing door-to-door sales, I got into a place where I know how to ask something to learn about something I have no idea about, to get the right information I need to get whatever it is done. It was like, hey, where's the things we need for this? When in my head, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but they're like, oh, here they are. Like, oh, I see. Like, I figured out this is what I need. But, you know, I was like, hopefully they don't find out, because I got to eat. You know?
You know, my first job, so I worked at Walmart in Fresno, right? But I would do graphic design on the side, but it was just like, It was graphic design, mainly on Publisher, bro. Like I was like, I was too broke to get Photoshop. I hadn't discovered how to buy cracked, how to get cracked files and anyways, I ended up just doing graphic design, putting it on Instagram, and then it was just my real friends on Instagram at the point. I didn't have like random people on there, and so I just kept making graphics after graphics of just like everything I can think of. They were cool to me. It wasn't just like me ripping off a movie flyer and just making it. Anyways, this friend hits me up. I get sick at Walmart. It's my 90-day probation, and I missed 2 days, right? And they're like, you know what? You can't come back. And I was just like, oh, well, shit. My friend hits me up literally the day after, and she's like, hey, my boss needs someone to start e-commerce for them. At the time, I wasn't doing, I just did graphic design, but I think, my friend assumed that because I did graphic design, I was good with web things. Anyways, I can do any of it. So I was just like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, sign me up. I make websites. Shit. And I get the interview. Before the interview starts, I think I have pictures still. I have like fucking 5 full throttle cans on my nightstand, and it's just my computer, and I'm just learning like, how do I make an e-commerce website? I get to the interview, I learned the popular terminology used, and I was like, yeah, I can help you out with the SEO. I can help you out with the, I'll get a Google Analytics account, webmaster tool. I didn't know how to use these things, but I knew what they were. So I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
And you were going to learn.
And then I was going to learn. And I got the job. I didn't think I was going to get the job. But then, that's when the energy drink addiction came. Yeah. I had to learn everything, bro. I swear, the day I learned that I got hired. Yeah. I came, I was home, and I had to, out of my own money, make my own website with fake clothes on it. And that's why then I was like a little bit confident to help them out, but I did that for about 4 months, and then the economy took a downturn, and they couldn't really hire a web guy like myself. But I did get 2 e-commerce websites up and running for them. They took care of some of the photo work and all that stuff, but I got the SKUs going. There you go. They didn't know my graphic design skills helped a lot, because they had this one dress, but in like 20 fucking different colors. I kid you not. It was this type of, it was a dress that could turn into a shirt. I don't know, some crazy 2085 shit going on. And I ended up just grabbing the picture and adjusting the hue, so that dress that I clipped out was just changing colors every time I hit the slider. Oh, nice. And I started killing it, and that's what launched my freelance work. Was okay, I now made these 2 e-commerce sites that I had to learn off of nights of just hustling it out on YouTube and making example work, and that's pretty much how I started what I'm doing right now.
Nice, man. I'll ask you guys all this, because you're all in this. Like, the last question I'll have for you guys. Have you noticed that once you're in the field that you are in, like everyone else, like your coworkers or people that also do it, like there's a big percentage of the people doing shit don't know what the hell they're doing also.
Yeah, I think once you there's all the saying, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And then once you start doing this, you kind of start to realize how ignorant of stuff you are, and then you notice that in other people as well. I have a perfect
no
example.
No one knows what they're doing.
This is a perfect example of this. Going back to me working in the union, thinking, I don't know shit, I'm gonna get fired because I don't know what I'm doing. I go to use the bathroom when I'm like having this crisis in my head, and I see one of my coworkers who seemed like a good worker, and he's coming out of the porta potty with like a crack pipe, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be just fine.
Well, that means he has the energy, right? He's all boosted up. It's time for him to get. That's why he's such a good worker.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, crack is an upper, isn't it?
We were talking about like negotiating rates with clients, and I think of all the things I've learned doing freelancing for 10 years, learning how to negotiate your rates with the client is probably the most valuable thing I've learned, because we've talked about this at one of either the talent shows or the comedy shows. The worst thing you can do is if you're like, oh, I can do it for $1,200. Can you do it for $8? The worst thing you can do is go, Yeah, I can do it for 8.
Yeah.
Because now, 1, you just told that client you don't have any confidence in yourself because otherwise you wouldn't have backed down. 2, that $1,200 you threw at him was total bullshit. And so now the client thinks you're going to take advantage of
They
them.
call your bluff.
They're not going to respect you.
Yeah.
They're going to walk all over you. They're going to ask you to do extra shit and not want to pay you for anything. And you've just set yourself up for failure. You've set yourself up for a bad experience with this client. So what I was telling you, the trick I've picked up on is when I'm haggling with clients, if I tell a client, I can do it for $1,200. Can you do it for 8? I'll be like, well, if we lose this and we lose this and we cut this out, yeah, that'll get it down to 8. Because nowhere else do people do that. Like, you're never at Target and the lady rings you up, that'll be $76.14. Ooh, can you do it for 60?
I got it.
She's going to look at you like, the fuck? No. You're not going to be in McDonald's haggling the Big Mac. Like, tell you what, you keep the middle bread, I'll give you $2.50.
Now,
That's the deal, right?
How about a hug?
Now, what's funny, and JD, refute me if I'm wrong, but my Spanish teacher had said that in the United States, everything is, in a lot of countries, everything is fixed prices. But if you go into like some markets in Mexico, because she spent some time living down there during her college years, those people get insulted if you don't haggle with them. Like, even though you're haggling over pesos, and pesos aren't quite what the American dollars were at the time, it's considered culturally expected to like haggle. That's like a thing. And I was like, I can't imagine haggling over a CD player. It goes to show you how old I am. But you know what I'm saying?
I guess it depends on
the market, the product, yeah.
The product, yeah. Maybe,
Like
go to the flea market and try that shit.
And even here, you're gonna haggle.
And they're like, what do you mean you're not going to haggle with me? I just, here's 10 pesos. Right.
The message for today is believe in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't work for free.
Yes.
Believe in yourself and don't work for free.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tony, I want to thank you for coming out. It's been great chatting with you. Where can people find you? Where can people, more importantly, hire you?
Yes, ctamayo.com. As it's CSEETAMAYO.com.
Good last name, man.
Thanks.
This is weird. But
Instagram, Tony Tamayo. That's it. It's on Instagram, and I'm there.
All right.
Find him.
And you can see his work at our everything
Voice Party is from
Voice
him.
Party. There's new logos coming out. Hopefully by the time this comes out, we release the new T-shirts that are coming with the logo. But
T-shirts.
all designed by Tony Tamayo. Because there's 2 more logos we haven't released yet, and I've shown you guys one, but there's another one coming that I haven't shown you guys yet. But yeah, all designed by Tony Tamayo. There's been talks of other artists that they want to do something for us that's like because they've been on the show.
Sure.
But it's like so far this has been the best one, man. So we haven't bothered with anyone. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tony, for coming through. This has been the Voice Party, everybody, and we are out.
Oh man.
So I'm not the only one with back problems, right?
I got it.
It's you and